Hello everybody and welcome to English Grammar with Amaya sir, and in today's lecture we are going to do scene poems. I have also got scene passages for you, but first we will do two scene poems. We will attempt two poems to find out the time management, how long it should really take, how are the questions, what is the format, everything. And then after we are done with those two scene poems, we will do two scene passages. That's the plan for the next hour. We will see how far we can go, but first the poems. Now let us go through the format. I believe that we discussed about the format for passages as well. So this is it for the poems. We are first going to deal with 3.1, but before that the paper pattern overview. We did that when we studied the scene passages. So here if you see guys, you see that the textual passage is question number 2, but question number 3 is poetry. That's where our focus is today. So question number 3 is poetry, question number 3a and question number 3b. So question number 3a is where you attempt the scene poem. There's only one poem, so 1 5s are 5 marks for that, and then you have critical appreciation also for 5 marks. One single critical appreciation of a poem, scene poem of course, from your textbook. So total the poetry section will be asked for 10 marks. Okay, let's proceed. What's next? The time management. So important guys, so important, the time management. You will have to attempt the following questions in the poetry section. We just saw them. So first is the scene poem extract for 5 marks, and the time management says that you should do it in less than 10 minutes. 10 minutes is maximum, not that you should take 10 minutes. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and tell you it doesn't need 10 minutes. Now that's about the scene poem part. What about the critical appreciation? For critical appreciation you have to dedicate 10 minutes. Now here is the deal, okay? Whatever time you save here is what you can add in the case of critical appreciation. It's just as simple as that. Okay, so I'm making it very clear here. Whatever time you will save in attempting the scene poem, you can then give that extra time for writing critical appreciation, so that you can compose your answer nicely, make sure you cover all the points required, and make effective use of the language, plan it out properly. So the scene poem, actually you have got a couple of questions for 2 marks, and the poetical device is for 1 mark. So it takes not more than 7 minutes, 7 maximum 8 minutes. It doesn't require more than that. So every time, just remember, whenever you will do these passages, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for every 2 mark question, and probably just a minute for the poetical device question in order to attempt the figures of speech or something like that. You'll see. But anyhow, it should not take more than 7, maximum 8 minutes, although theoretically speaking you can give 10 minutes according to the time management, but it takes less than that. Use that extra time for the critical appreciation. Let us go through exactly how the questions will be. Okay, that's very important. So we are talking about time management, and now we will see how the questions are asked. So scene poem, I beg your pardon. The first one is simple factual activity. So there will be questions for 2 marks. You will have a web chart. They can ask you match the column, or they can ask you true or false. This is for 2 marks. Okay. The next, they'll ask you complex factual questions, like complete the following. Then they'll ask you your interpretation, so maybe lines from the poems, and they'll ask you to explain, or maybe they'll ask you to find the lines from the poem. And the third one is choose the correct alternative. That's my favorite because it's just scoring always. The last one is the poetical device question. So poetic device question, 1 mark for that. That will include the figures of speech, rhyme scheme, imagery. Remember, it is exactly where you could remember everything from the theory. The figures of speech would have been taught to you in the rhyme scheme, imagery, because these are scene poems. So if you have done it thoroughly, if you studied it thoroughly, there should be no problem in getting 5 out of 5 here. All right, with that we can proceed to the first scene poem that we are going to do. I want you to be ready with the textbook. You can pause the video if you are not ready. I want you to be ready with the textbook. Go to page 102. So this is 3.1, Night of the Scorpion, and it's the second page, I believe, of the poem. This is going to be our extract, the first one we are going to do. And here is my first question. Match the following. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for this, and the countdown timer will start as soon as I present the question to you. So this is the question and your time starts. I'll see you at the end of these 2 minutes. Guys, I want you to do it the way you will do it at the board exams. So I want you to be very particular about making columns, writing it properly. Don't draw lines. That's not how you do match the following. You write the number and the corresponding letter. So I have given you 2 minutes, which is more than enough. But the idea is that you do it very neatly, exactly the way you will do it when you are in the examination hall for the 10th standard. Another 30 seconds, we'll see the answers there. Okay. The answers are easy. There's no doubt about that. It's just that you have to write everything neatly. That counts. That will create a good impression. Alright, your time is up and here are the answers. So holy man is rites and rituals, and poet's father, paraffin. Remember, he applied paraffin. So I have no doubt that you've scored full marks here. I hope, very sincerely. And let us proceed to the next question. So this is find and explain, again for 2 marks. And your question is, write lines from the poem that show mother's selfless love. Explain. Guys, this explain part is very important. Your time starts now. I'm saying that the explain part is very important here. Find out which lines show mother's selfless love and explain them in your words for 2 marks. I'll see you in some time. Okay. Again, I hope you are attempting it very seriously. You have to write down the lines and explain. Another 30 seconds. All right, your time is up. And what are the answers? In fact, what is the answer? It's just one question. I will read it out. The following lines express mother's selfless love. My mother only said, "Thank God the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." The lines are extremely beautiful and meaningful. Mother was sure that although she was able to endure that excruciating pain, her children would not have been able to do so. Thus, though in pain, she is thankful that the scorpion chose her and not her children. Guys, this is very important, and I'm going to actually want that you should write this answer. I have made use of words like excruciating pain. I have said that she, though in pain, is thankful or was thankful at that time that the scorpion chose her. So please copy this down. You can pause the video and copy it later. So because I've already considered 2 minutes and I don't want to consider a minute more. So you can pause the video and copy this. But at the moment, I'm going to proceed to the next question. So the next question is the poetic device question. So figures of speech. And you for this one would probably get only a minute for this. Just 1 minute for this. Okay. And your question is, find any two examples of repetition from the extract and explain. So you better be quick with this. Okay. Your time starts now. Pick them up fast, that should not be an issue, but please explain it. Just write down. When it's repetition, something is repeated, is it not? Obviously. Just write it down. All right, guys, I hope that you are done. I'm very hopeful that you are done with this. And here is what I wanted you to write. Well, if you have found out some other example, leave it in the comments. But more candles, more lanterns, more neighbors is a very good example. This is also climax in addition to repetition, but you can mention that. And the next one, my mother twisted through and through. So you write down that the word more is repeated for the first time. You write that. For the second one, the word through is repeated for a better poetic effect. You did not have to just write down the lines. You had to explain. Remember. So I hope that you not just wrote them. Not wrote the lines, you also explained. Very important. And this is now why I say that 8 minutes are more than enough. It should be absolutely possible for you to take well under 10 minutes and be able to utilize that saved time while you attempt the critical appreciation. So now immediately let's proceed to the second poem. So I have already told you what poem that is. We are now going to proceed to the next poem, which is the second poem in the unit, which is The Will to Win. It's unit 3.4. I want you ready with your textbook now and go to page 124. And in fact, the entire poem is your extract. It's a very small poem. So the entire poem has got to be considered for this. That's it. I'm going to now start with the questions. By the way, if it's a 2-mark question, the first one you would have 2 minutes. It's just for the poetic device where, I will give you just a minute. So the first question is on your screen right now. Fill in the blanks. Let me read them. Oh, in fact, let's start the time. Yeah, you can start. I'll read it anyway. If neither cold or poverty, famished or dash, life seems useless and dash without it. Lose all your terror of the dash for it. If dogged and grim, you dash and beset it. So let's see if you can find all 4. I will join you again in some time. Guys, this is a common query by the students in the when we attempt the fill in the blanks. Do we write the question? So the answer is yes. You write down the complete statement. I repeat, you write down the complete statement when you are attempting fill in the blanks. So I want you not just to write the word. Please write down the entire sentence. When I conduct these passage and poems practice, make sure you do it very sincerely, because this is exactly what will happen at the board exam. Okay, last 10 seconds. And then, by the way, 4 blanks for 2 marks, half mark each. So when you correct it, make sure it's half mark. The time is up and I shall now bring the answers. Okay, so here are the answers. I'm revealing them now. So the first one is gaunt. The second one is worthless. Third one is opposition. And fourth one is besiege. So I'm sure that you got all 4 correct, because you just had to look at the poem and find it. I want to talk about the last one. I repeat that I did this, I said this when I was explaining the poem. If you are using the old edition, there was this mistake, printing mistake. The textbook actually had the wrong word. I think it was besiege or something. It's besiege. Okay, so if you are using the latest edition of the textbook, you will have it correctly. Otherwise, you'll be surprised to find the words besiege. That's wrong. Besiege is correct. Okay, I will repeat. If you are using an old edition, you will have besiege, but that's not besiege. It's a mistake. The word is besiege, and I did talk about this when we actually studied the poem, if you remember. Anyway, besiege is the answer. Correct it if you got it wrong. Next question, please. So this should be question number 2 now. Yes, question number 2, and your time starts. What is anaphora and epistrophe? Provide examples. So first you have to, you can do it either way. First you show the lines, and during the explanation of the lines you can explain, or do it the way they have asked. First explain what is anaphora and epistrophe, and then you can provide examples. I'll join you in some time. Continue to do your work. Guys, I hope you remember what is anaphora and epistrophe. We did discuss this. Again, I'm saying when I taught you this poem. And anyway, if you are new to this channel and watching this for the first time without having watched that video, you will soon, in about 15 seconds, know what it is. Even if you are new and don't know anything about it, you can at least make some guesswork, right? You can do some guessing. Meanwhile, your time is up. So those who have done it properly, those who are my old students who were there when I taught you this poem, here is the answer. Well, they are both subdivisions of repetition. Remember that. When the start for a few lines is the same, it is called anaphora. Remember, I'm saying it, guys. The pronunciation is anaphora. And when a few lines end with the same word or phrase, it is called the epistrophe. Epistrophe. Okay. Every stanza begins with the word if. So if you look at the poem, every stanza begins with the word if. So this is an example of anaphora. The first stanza, 3 lines end with for it. 3 of the 4 lines. So this is epistrophe. I'm sure you can do that observation, and I have no doubt that actually you have written something similar to this. You can pause the video and copy this if you have not written the correct answer. You can pause the video. For now, I am going to continue with the third question on your screen right now. So this is going to be poetic device, figures of speech again. Pick out an example of tautology and explain. You get a minute for this. Your time starts. Guys, it's not 2 minutes. It's just 1 minute. So let me just make it 1 minute, please. It's going to just be 1 minute, not 2 minutes, okay? Your time actually has been corrected now. You get 1 minute. Write down the line and explain, guys. Explanation is very important. An example of tautology. Okay, under 10 seconds now. Wonderful. The time is up, and I am sure that you have the answer. You can pick out any one example. So here I have chosen the line, life seems useless and worthless without it. The figures of speech is tautology. Why is that so? Because useless and worthless mean almost the same. So I hope you got 5 out of 5 yet again. And now we are going to proceed to the passages again. This is, I think, the first time we did scene poems. So here are the takeaways from it. Number 1, maximum 10 minutes, but you can clearly see we don't need 10 minutes, can be wrapped up in 7 to 8 minutes comfortably. Okay. You have 3 questions. A couple of questions for 2 marks and a poetic device question for 1 mark. And whatever time you save here is what you will have as bonus when you attempt the critical appreciation. So after having done these 2, now I'm going to start with the passages. So we did 3 passages, if I'm not wrong. We did 3 passages last time. So let me just pull up the passage number 4 here. Passage number 4. Passage number 4. Yes, absolutely, I have that. Now passage number 4 I say because we did passage 1, passage 2, passage 3 in the last lecture. So we are going to continue with passage 4 and we will do passage 5 as well. Okay. Let's start. What is this passage going to be about? So this is from the unit 3.5. Again, your textbooks should be ready. They are. I hope you already have the textbook with you. And 131 is the page number. The entire page 131 will be your passage. Of course, the lesson is Super Mom Mary Com. I hope you're ready. You can pause the video if you're not ready. I'm going to proceed with the first question. And the first question, I'm not going to go in the time management and thing again because we have already studied that in the last lecture. So every time you have this question, all the questions in fact, you're going to get 2 minutes except for the personal response. If you remember that, we did the same way last time. Whenever I show the question, I'll start your countdown timer. Fill in the blanks using suitable words from the passage. So this is the question and your time starts now. Last 30 seconds, guys. Last 30 seconds. All right, your time is up, and I have no doubt that you must have correctly filled the blanks. More corporates should come in and sponsor players. OGQ really played an important part in my success. Nutrition has definitely been a neglected area in Indian sports. I think some of the decisions were unfortunate and did not work to my benefit. Did you get full 2 marks here? I hope you did. Okay, let's proceed to the next one. The next question is word register for 2 marks. Make a word register of all the words related to eating. Let's see how many you can find. Your time starts now. Neatness is appreciated, guys. The neatness, your handwriting, your presentation, everything makes an impact. Last 20 seconds. Okay, your time is up, and well, hopefully you found out the following words: diet, nutrition, eat, food. You could have found out more, but for 2 marks, if you write 4 words, it's more than enough. So every other word that you've written, if it's related to eating or whatever the question is, it makes sense, but a minimum of 4 words. Let us proceed to the next question. The next question is find words from the passage that mean the following. The moment the questions come up, your time will start. And here are your questions, and your time starts now. Let me read them. Partial or unjust. What's the word for that? A person who is proficient in sports. The third one is tension or anxiety. And the last one is 100 crores. What are the words in the passage for these? Fine, go ahead and find them. I will join you in some time. I hope you have the answers ready because you now have under 10 seconds left. And your time is up, and hope that you have the following words. Partial, unjust, dodgy decisions. Remember that word? The next one is person who is proficient in sports is an athlete. Did you get that? Tension or anxiety, the word is stress. 100 crores, the word is a billion. And I sincerely hope that you scored full marks here. Next question, question number 4. You know the question number 4 is always grammar for 2 marks. And the questions are as follows. And your time starts now. Let me read the questions. They took care of everything. Change the voice. Provide the names. The second question is provide the names for the following punctuation marks. I have provided some punctuation marks and I have asked you to name what they are called. Write them down properly, neatly, and I will join you in some time. Half a minute more. Okay, so your time is up, and let's see the answers. The first one, everything was taken care of by them. They took care of everything. Everything was taken care of by them. And the names for the punctuation marks. The first one is a ditto mark. Remember that, please. Ditto mark if you got it wrong. The dot on the letters I and J is a tittle. Please be careful with the spelling. It's not T-I single T-L-E. Then that becomes title. This one is tittle. The third one is the set of dots, ellipses. The plural will be E-L-L-I-P-S-E-S. This is singular, ellipses. And the last one is the ampersand sign. What you normally just, when you read, you say and. It's the ampersand sign. Okay. You can pause the video if you want to make a note of the answers in case you did not get one of those. At the moment, let us go to our last question, which is the personal response question. And here is your question. By the way, let me remind you, this is personal response. So I'm going to give you an extra minute. So now you will have 3 minutes for this one. And there is a reason why I give you this extra minute. I don't want you to say, okay, fine, I'll just write it. Why do I need that extra minute? It makes sense because it's personal response, and I've said that this is one question where you could win the race and go ahead of the other people. So they might not take it very seriously, but my students should. So put in some thought, like what am I going to write? What are the words? How should I make the start? Think about it. You have 3 minutes for this, and then let the answer be of some real quality. Of course, I'll present my answer to you, but that's why the extra minute. Let's get back to what we were doing. And the question for you is this: what qualities in Mary Kom helped her achieve success in your opinion? Got to express your opinion. What are the qualities you see in Mary Kom? According to you, what are those qualities that helped? I'll see you, or rather not see you exactly, but join you in some time. All the best. Do this very sincerely. Okay. Under 10 seconds now. And your time is up. I'm going to now present my answer, and I'm going to read it. Pay attention on your screens. In my opinion, there are four top qualities by virtue of which Mary Kom achieved great success. I want guys you to notice that the way I've underlined it is very important. Sometimes you don't make your underlines, okay? Important points need to be highlighted. So four top qualities has been underlined here. First of all, her indomitable spirit, the undying spirit, okay? She chose an unconventional male dominated sports, yet she never gave up. It should be sport, I think. She chose an unconventional male dominated sport. So this S should not be, it's not a dollar sign. The S is just unnecessary. Second is her loving nature. Let us not forget her success even as a successful mother. The third is her humble nature. She respects her coach and always keeps learning. Lastly, I think her grateful nature that is displayed when she appreciates what OGQ did for her. Remember Olympic gold quest. So this is how you underline the important stuff, and hopefully you've written something like this. Of course, if you have mentioned some other quality that she has, any of the other qualities, she has so many good qualities. It is perfectly okay. It's not, there's nothing right or wrong about it. I have mentioned these four because I think that these four are her top qualities and they made her who she is today. And now what I'm going to do is proceed to the next passage. We agreed to do two passages. We've done one. Now this passage, the next one, is actually passage number 5 for us. And the thing is, it is from the lesson the concert. So some of you might wonder, sir, haven't we done a passage on concert earlier? The thing about the passages is the lesson might be the same, but this is a different passage. Please remember that. Passage 5. Yeah, this will be passage 5. So here we go. I have got it ready. So this is our final work for today. We are going now on to the page number 138. There you have it. Page number 138, 138, and the unit is 3.6. This is, I believe, the start of the lesson, is it not? So this is the first page of the lesson. Please mark it or have your textbook ready. You can pause if you are not ready, but for the moment I am going to continue. And here is your first question. State if true or false, and by the way, very important, they've said that if it is false, you have to correct it. Initially, you'll get 2 minutes. For the personal response, you'll get 3 minutes. Your question is, there are two questions in fact. Let me start your time. The questions. First one, Anant was awake when mother read the news. The second one is Pandit Ravi Shankar was going to perform at the Kalidas auditorium the next day. So let me know if you think they're true or false. If you think that they're false, you've got to rectify. I will join you in some time. Do it properly. Okay, under 10 seconds now. That's it. Your time is up, and I hope that you wrote the following. The first one is false. There was a trick there. Anant was awake, there's no doubt about that. But when Smita read the news, she was reading it from the newspaper, the article, not the mother. So I hope you caught that. There was a trap here. Now, second one is false. Of course, not in the Kalidas auditorium, but in the Shanmukhanand auditorium. So I sincerely hope the smart people as you are, you probably got them right, both of them. Wonderful. Let's proceed to the next one. Find the odd one out with the reason. Guys, you don't have to point the odd one. You have to state with reason. I think this point is very important. State it with the reason. And the questions are as follows. And your time starts now. Mention the reason as well. All the best. Under 10 seconds, guys. You had to state the odd one out with the reason, okay? Your time is up. And guys, before I give you the answer, let me tell you again, innovation in language. Initially, during my school days, I remember the question used to be find the odd man out. Okay, they used to say find the odd man out, but now they say find the odd one out. They don't say find the odd man out, it's odd one out. Just a thing to note, not find the odd man out. In my times, in my school days, always I have read this, I recollect it was always find the odd man out. Now it is find the odd one out. And now for the answer. I hope that you found out the reason correctly. The first one is Aunt Sushila because it's the only character not mentioned in the passage. You have Aunt Sushila, of course, as a character in the lesson, but not mentioned in that passage. The next one is Doctor because the only entry that is not related to music. All the others were related to music. Okay. Did you get it right? Let me know. The next question, please. The next question is find words from the passage that mean. So clearly there will be 4 words and you will have to find out the meaning would be given and your time starts now. The first one, a prominent performer of classical music. The next one is a difficulty in breathing. Third one, uninvited, without any invitation. And the fourth one, a theater or a hall where the audience sits. All the best. I'll join you in some time. All right, it is under 10 seconds now. And I have no doubt that you will get all of them. Your time is up and the answers are as follows. So, a prominent performer of classical music is maestro. Difficulty in breathing is gasp. Uninvited is unbidden. The memories flood in, you know that line. A theater where the audience sits for the performance or for the concert is auditorium. So, did you score full 2 marks here? The entire maximum possible. All right, and then let's proceed to the fourth one. You know, fourth one is a grammar question. All the time you have to remember that either it could be 1 question for 2 marks or 2 questions 1 mark each, depending on the nature of difficulty. So here are your questions. Your time starts now. Let me read them. I must hear him and see him. Use not only. You have to rewrite using not only but also. His eyes were shining. Identify the tense. You have a lot of time at hand. Do them properly. All the best. Okay, your time is up. And the answers. The answers are as follows. For not only but also, you have I must not only hear him but also see him. Guys, you be careful when you correct it. I must, and then you initiate not only. It cannot be I not only must. I must not only hear him but also see him. And identify the tense. It's past continuous. Now here you have to watch out for the spelling of continuous. Continuous. Please give it right only if you have written it absolutely like this. Please be honest in your correction. And now for the last question, personal response. As usual, let me remind you that you will have 3 minutes for this. And your question is, Anant said, chance of a lifetime. Explain in your own words. Remember, that's a punchline of the lesson. Your time starts now. It's a punchline of the lesson, the most important line. Chance of a lifetime features more than 2 or 3 times here in the lesson. Take your time, give me a good answer. All the best. I'll join you soon. Okay, under 10 seconds now. And of course, I will give you my answer. The time is up, and here is my answer. Okay, I will read it, pay proper attention. This is a very important line from the passage and serves as a punchline. You can underline here. Anant used to take sitar lessons and he was extremely eager to attend Pandit Ravi Shankar's performance. He was excited, but he was well aware of the fact that he did not have much time left due to his illness. Therefore, he said this line to convince everyone that he might not get such an opportunity thereafter. Guys, this is how I would think you should write this particular answer, how and why this line is important. So he very well knew of his illness and he thought that he might not get such an opportunity thereafter. Wonderful. Guys, it was absolutely wonderful to cover everything in perfect timing. We did two poems today, two scene poems, and two more of the scene passages. Here is what we are going to do in the next lecture when we meet. We are going to look at the topic change the voice in detail about what sort of questions you can expect when it's change the voice and how to deal with them. We will do a lot of examples of every type. That will happen in the next lecture. So up until next time, please take care, stay home, stay at home, do not go venture outside if it's not necessary. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.